and talk about one thing which has been the most significant change in your view in the attributes of that consumer from the last luxury era.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Rishi, over to you. Thank you, Sumit. Good afternoon, everyone. Sumit, if you allow me, before I describe luxury in one sentence, I was just looking up what's the dictionary meaning of luxury, and I picked up two sentences from dictionary. The first one said, the enjoyment of expensive and beautiful things. And the second said, a pleasure which you do not often have. I think these are now a little bit dated definition of luxury. At Max Estates, in our view, we think about luxury as a state of being, a real well-being, which is a holistic combination of many aspects of residential ecosystem, which we would like to capture in three core buckets: location, which continues to be an important factor, product and product attributes that we will talk about, and most importantly, which is becoming the defining and differentiating factor, is the experience and quality of experience. Coming to your second question on what are two attributes which defines today's consumer, luxury consumer, I think one, and this is a fundamental shift that we are seeing, today's luxury customer is not homogeneous. Today's luxury customer is much more diverse and fragmented when it comes to the age, when it comes to the profession, when it comes to the geography. For example, and we talked about it earlier and now as well, in India, 35% of population, which is around 450 million, is millennials. And as per one of the survey, 60% of them would like to buy new homes. I think the second attribute I would say is luxury consumers of today are much more conscientious. What do I mean by that? They would like to align their personal values with brand values. When they're evaluating luxury purchase, they're evaluating the social and environment goals of the brand. They would like to associate themselves with responsible brands. I think these are two fundamental shifts compared to past that we are seeing. And I think the only thing I would add to that, to your third question, which is more recent, pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, I think what we are seeing is, if you look at the younger generation, millennial, Gen Z, there is a significant shift, and we are seeing this in our demand pipeline from rent versus buy. 70% of millennials would like to now buy new homes, which completely reverses the trend that we had seen in 2016.
Rishi, let me come to you now. From a product spec standpoint, especially when you say that there are certain aspirational product differentiators, there are certain must-haves as part of these products which are selling. Specifically in context of luxury, what's your experience been, right? So two questions. One is, can you help us understand, because what we are hearing in the market is that if there was 3-tier security requirements, it's now gone to 6 tiers, concierge services, branded clubhouses, and I think the formats are just going higher and higher up in terms of the value curve. But what's resonating the most with buyers when you're actually talking and engaging with them from a product standpoint, number one? And though Kalyan touched upon it briefly, I'm also very keen to know, are you seeing similar level of awareness on the sustainability side? Are these buyers intelligent enough to come and ask these questions? Is it helping you attract a premium?
So let me just respond that in 3 parts. First, Sumit, just for the audience, couple of quick statistics.
Right.
One, if you look at by 2047, 51% of India's population, 1.7 billion, will stay in urban cities. And second very important fact is, if you look at population segment which is capable of owning homes, 25% of them today is in upper mid and higher income, and this percentage is going to become 45% by 2030. Why I'm sharing this fact? this is just to very briefly respond to your first question on, is there a depth as far as luxury and premium products are concerned? Coming to your question on what product attributes consumers are preferring, again going back to my my framework is location, product and experience. Location we always talk about. As far as product, I don't think it's so much about building good quality homes, green rated homes. I think if I have to pick up three things in product that people are looking for, the first theme would be, which Kalyan touched upon, and we are seeing a lot of that in consumer inquiry, is the generous spaces. I think it's a major trend, and people really want spacious homes, spacious rooms, and so on and so forth. I think second is proximity to nature, and there is a bit of a dichotomy here. People are moving to urban cities, but they would like to have rural setting and farmland experience in the urban homes. So there is a lot of emphasis on landscape, which is where we as Max Estates are emphasizing a lot on as well. And third, see, everybody provides all kind of amenities that you talked about. I think the issue is not so much about are those amenities available. I think people are talking about, is it customized to the needs of all generations that is going to stay in that residential community. And lastly, above all of this, I don't think future is so much about what you are going to offer. Future is going to be about how are you going to offer, which is the experience part, which is who is going to bring that service and experience to consumer. So the specialized teams who are going to enable that top-notch experience is what is going to matter. Finally, on sustainability part, just one, we're talking a lot about sustainability, but if you look at, I just picked up a stat from Griha Rating, 2008 to 2022, out of 444 commercial buildings got rated, but only 63 residential communities got rated.
Yeah.
So when it comes to residential communities, unlike commercial where B2B consumers, investors are demanding it, consumers in general, I would say, are not so much active in demanding it, but I agree with Kalyan, when it comes to luxury consumer or buyer, I think we are seeing the discussions to begin, and they're willing to pay premium for sustainable aspects, particularly like in our Noida projects, people are asking about water quality, they're asking about air quality, they're asking about natural lights. I think these discussions have now started in this particular segment.
And buyers are, so buyers are becoming more aware, but is it starting to attract premiums in your view as well, or not as yet?
If you take a blanket view, no. But if you take a narrow view of this particular segment, yes, discussions have started, but to be honest, it is still very early. I think a lot more has to be done, and fully agree with Kalyan, a lot more has to be done by us to bring those features back to consumers and make them educated about benefits of these features. Lot to be expected on that front.
Fair enough. I think it's more about the larger experience, Rishi. That's what you're also trying to highlight, that it's a larger package, right? And on that count, I think we want to shift focus a little confidence, and what will be your bigger risk or biggest risk you think the market should just keep in mind?
Yeah, I think in our view, this wave is here to stay for all the fundamental demand side drivers that we have spoken about. But what I would say is we should also be ready and embrace for volatility. So the trend is going to be there, but we need to be ready for navigating through the volatility, which is the characteristics of any cycle. And as we as developers are underwriting new opportunities, we are trying to take a through cycle view where, in my personal view, the prices also, because in these forums we never talk about supply side constraints. We only talk about demand side constraints, and there are enough supply side constraints, particularly in Delhi NCR, that we can touch upon. I think prices are going to stay, but this entire hype around day one, day two sale, one would need to be ready for more sustainable, longer term velocity, just to be very practical and realistic. And that's how you should underwrite the new opportunities. If you get day one, day two sell, which all of us would aspire for, that should be bonus.